It has now been just over a month since the BearDaBear drama went down, and I don't know about you, but what was the outcome of any of that? Like, really, who was in the right and who was in the wrong there? That's mostly what this video is about, and then one other thing, but I'll just make this short and sweet. Bear essentially got exposed for things that he was doing when he was 14, around 3 years ago. He was doing some pretty bad things, but apparently he was doing these things all because he was in a certain friend group, and since he was young, he didn't really know the difference between like what was right and wrong necessarily, but the main gist is that he did some really bad things when he was pretty young, and then out of nowhere 3 years later Toast drops an exposing video on him for the things he did 3 years ago. And honestly, I'm not gonna hold you against it, that was a pretty good video. It was well put together as per usual by Toast, but then a few days later Bear drops his response video on the matter, and that one actually explains what happens, and everything seems to have reason to it, and it just feels more full, really more evidence-based because he was the person that was in this whole situation, unlike Toast, who was more of a bystander and just collected clues from wherever he could find them, aka one documents for the most part, but he just took all of that and put it into one video and just exposed them, quote unquote exposed them. So who's in the right here? Or more so, who's in the wrong? And after a month of thinking about it now and then, I think that both of them are in the wrong. Toast with his video really doubled down on the like insane part of what he did. He made it sound way worse than it was to some degree, and like that's what he has to do for a video, like what he produces, but it's just a tad bit misleading. Now for Bear's parts, he was definitely in the wrong too. Even though Toast did over-exaggerate in the video, the core of what he said was mostly true, and Bear admits this in his response. He admitted to those bad things. So now we're kind of in a bit of a stuck place, because you could easily defend any side you want and still technically be right, and that's where it gets tricky, because now it's not solely about evidence, it's more about who do you like more. If you like Toast more, you would say, oh, he exposed them, all this stuff was true, Bear is a really bad guy. But for Bear's side, you could say he was really young, he was in a weird friend group, a weird headspace, and he wasn't himself that he is now. Both of those are true. For me, personally, I do lean a tad bit more to Bear's side of this situation. If you want to let me know your thoughts, you can comment them down below, but please keep it civil. Now on to the second part of this video, aka what is Bear doing? If you go to Bear's Discord right now and look in the announcements tab, you'll see an announcement from 2 weeks ago talking about the Harvest Nobles thing that happened, and after the whole thing ended there was a big monument in the rec center, like where the old TV was. But in this announcement he wrote a formal complaint to Rec Room about said monument. It says, they finally put in the monument for the War of Harvest Nobles, the Tomato War event thingy from a few months ago that I got first place on. And don't get me wrong, this is amazing, I love it. But can someone please explain to me why the flip is there a Yeti holding the tomatoes instead of me? Why not just do this? Have a statue of me on the right and the Yeti on the left for the two events. And that was the whole announcement. And I really can't tell if this is satire or not. Oh my god, that voice crack. But I can't tell. Is he being deadass about this, like, monument of him? It feels oddly out of place for Bear to be like, why isn't there a big statue of me next to a Yeti? He also didn't talk about the other two first place winners and only talked about himself getting a monument. He seems pretty serious about it though, but that just seems very strange to me why he would say that, but I digress. What are your thoughts on all this, guys? Let me know down below. But as always, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.